Peace, brothers and sisters in humanity. I hope you're all well. It's been a while, innit? It's been a minute. But I told you, I come back. Just like Ramadan. Let's listen to. I was actually shocked. This is like it was done quite a while back. All right, let's listen to. I'm not here to nothing anyway.
Today I wish to highlight one of the most blessed and most powerful acts of worship. You and I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed upon us the 5 daily prayers.
Well, Mufti Monk, he really didn't. But that's okay. All right, that's not my problem. Yeah, you can think that.
As as-salat. The term as-salat does not translate as prayer, but the word prayer is probably the closest to try and explain the...
There you go. I mean, for years, they're telling me the word prayer, the word salat, is translated as prayer. And I kept saying, that does not exist in any language, right? And when I heard Mufti Monk, I mean, the guy's got millions of followers. He's like a prophet, isn't he? He's the new prophet. Saying that, I was surprised. Someone admitted it. And I'm loving it. I really am. Thank you, Mr. Mufti Monk. He just made my day, basically. Okay, let's move on. I'm still going to talk about Salat, though. I kept, because obviously, I go out and about and that, so I meet a lot of Sunnis and we have a little debate here and there. And, I've done a whole video about Aqim as-Salat, yeah? The word means Aqim, yeah? But I came back, right, to give it even a better meaning, right? Even a better meaning in context with the Quran, obviously. So, there's a verse who said, God said, seek help through steadfastness and salat. Right? I'll just tell you a funny personal story. Right? Yeah, right? When I was Sunni, I truly believed you can only ask for help. Truly ask for help when you actually bowing down or on your forehead, you're putting your head on the floor, because that's the best position that God likes you to be when you ask for help. They call it sujood, right? So I used to believe that was the meaning of sujood. So I used to do that a lot, right? I'll go down on my forehead, touching the floor, and ask God for things, for help, right? About 20 years ago, I say probably longer, right? 20 years ago, I was young and stupid, yeah? Let me tell you this funny story. I had a business. Right? I had a business. I had it for 10 years, right? And the last year, right, the landlord put up the rent quite high. So I needed a fund. I needed help. Well, I knew I was going to lose the business, so it was actually something serious for me, do you know what I mean? But at the time, right, thinking, I've done a lot of this praying, a lot of sujood, a lot of bowing down, and a lot of anyway. I put my forehead through hell, right, asking God for help. Yeah. What do you think happened? What do you think happened after praying all that long? I think I've been praying for about 6 months, asking for help. What do you think happened? Yeah. I lost the business. Because I was stupid to believe that. Honestly, that is stupid. Instead of me going to the bank, right, I had every right to ask for a small loan, right? And I knew I could make it up. It's just I had a bit of a situation at the time. No, because it was riba. It was haram. All people around me would not, didn't have money to give me, because that's quite a bit of money. So instead of me going to the bank and ask for a loan, no, I thought I was a good little Sunni, and I thought, I can't because it's riba. So I lost the business who employed at the time about 5 people and myself. I had it for 10 years, all that sweat and, you know what I mean, hard work and that, right? Sometimes 16 hours a day. Anyway, you don't hardly see your family to build it up because I did not believe in the Quran. Because I was following people blindly. I was brainwashed to believe someone can show you the truth instead of the Quran. See what I'm saying? That's a lesson I learned. And so many other things, because I was a good little Sunni, I lost them. When they were not forbidden by God, it was forbidden by human being. So when I read the Quran and I found out the riba is not what they're talking about, I was shocked. I mean, years back, I'm talking about years back. I was shocked. So I've gone through hell listening to other people. So I promised myself then that I would never ever follow another human being ever again. And not just this one, other stories, you know, guys. I've told you some of them. Here and then, I like to tell you like a personal story to see where I'm coming from, yeah? All right. Now, we go back to our a subject. I'm going to talk about what the word aqama salat means exactly. Spot on, yeah? Spot on. And then you can always, depends on a verse, where you put it, yeah? On how you want to put it. Just give me 1 second, because I need to go in order. All right. We go to 2. No, let's start it from what I decided in the first place, yeah? Probably I think it makes a better meaning. All right. Chapter 19, ayah 58, all right? You can read before it, but anyway, that's all we need, yeah? These are some of the prophets whom God blessed. They were chosen from among the descendant of Adam and the descendant of those who we carried with Noah and the descendants of Abraham and Israel, and from among those who we guided and selected. When the revelations of the Most Gracious are recited to them, they obey hastily and they cry. So God here is talking about prophets, and it's to do with the Quran. So the God is saying here from Noah, right? From Noah, the people of Noah, yeah? So Noah is the first prophet. According to the Quran, Noah is the first prophet. So all these people here, okay? God is saying He's been sending prophets since Noah, and the message was the same, right? Is to follow the scripture or the scriptures. So every prophet came down, every prophet started with a messenger, started with Abraham, but there is, the God calls the Wasaya, were the same. All the Wasaya were the same. Let's hear it. In 42:13, let's go back. We're coming back again, yeah? We're coming back again. 42:13. He decreed for you the same deen decreed for Noah, and what he inspired you, and what we decreed for Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. You shall uphold the deen. This is aqimus salat, right? And do not divide it. The idol worshippers will greatly resent what you invite them to do. Read it to the end because it just gets long. So after reading this, to God decreed the same since Noah. We go back and read that 1958 again. These are some of the prophets who God blessed. They were chosen from among the descendants of Adam and the descendants of those whom he carried with Noah and the descendants of Abraham and Israel and from among those who we guided and selected. When the revelations of the most gracious are recited to them, they obey hastily and they cry. So the message is the same. So all these prophets here, aqamu salat, uphold, no, this is uphold the salat, which is the deen, and the deen is in the Quran. So the Quran is the salat, yeah, and the deen is inside it, because not all the Quran is deen, yeah, but all the deen is in the Quran, okay. So by upholding the Quran or upholding the deen, you can only get the deen from the Quran. You don't get it from anywhere else. And then 1959, it comes just after 1958, which is we just read. So these prophets followed the scriptures and they upheld the deen using the scriptures, yeah. And then God, what he said after that in 59, after them, right, after each prophet or messenger, yeah, generation lost the salat and pursued their lusts, they will suffer. I mean, continue to the end of the verse, but it's just what contribution they're going to get. So it's all related, yeah. It's all related because God is talking about the prophets upholding the Quran, yeah, and then the prophets, when they hear the revelations of the most gracious are recited to them, they obey hastily and they cry, because when you find out the truth, it's actually an emotional thing. We all felt it. I felt it when I found out the truth. I was a bit emotional because it's just overwhelming, you know. And I did cry because that is the truth. I was lost, now I'm found. See? From darkness to the light. And that's what the revelations does to you. And that's why God sent it. There's no other reason. So God started sending prophets after people starting to go astray. The proof is here, okay? Chapter 2, verse 213. The people used to be one community. Then God sent the prophets as bearers of good news as well as warners. He sent down with a scripture bearing the truth to judge among the people and their dispute. See? So one the people used to be one ummah, one people, one ummah, right? One community. God didn't have the reason to send them any prophets or warners, yeah? But after Noah, the people of Noah, things gone wrong. So after every prophet or messenger, after them, generations lost the salat and pursued their lusts, they will suffer. So, as we know, the Quran says that after every prophet, the people go astray. They lose the connection. So they go astray. That means they do not follow the salat. They don't uphold the salat. They do not uphold the Quran. They do not uphold the connection. So they disconnect. That's why God kept sending people. And the word aqim, this verse here will give it the pinpoint meaning. Right? Chapter 18, You know, I was so silly in the first video when I talked about that. I didn't even use this verse because I didn't see the connection. But that's the verse. So actually, this is muhkamat, right? This is one of the muhkamat. He will explain to you. He will tell you this is one of the verses. He will tell you the true meaning of that word. But I didn't use it. I was blind. So I just came back to actually say that. So 1877, you know when Moses met that guy who had knowledge and, you know, had knowledge and he's trying to save the boat and then he killed the person and then he destroyed this wall, yeah? Let's read it, yeah? So 1877. So they went. This is not the full story. I'll be here forever. We just need this, yeah? So they went. When they reached a certain community, they asked the people for food, but they refused to host them. Soon, they found a wall about to collapse. So this wall was about to collapse, right? And he fixed it. And then Moses said, you could have demanded a wage for that. You see, when you read this story, yeah, Moses learned something, right? Learned something from this man. When you think about it, yeah, this man, right, fixed the wall. He was about to. This is not obviously. This is out the meaning, you know. But it's just sometimes you remember things and you think, well, I might as well say them, you know. So when this guy rebuilt a wall, yeah, and Moses said, you could just ask for payment, yeah. He did say that, and that's why the guy said, oh, I've had enough of you now. All right, you can't, you know what I mean? You can't bear what I'm doing. But remember, when Moses went by himself and after killing a person and then he went away and he was by the well, yeah, and then these two women asked him if he can basically get water from the well from them, yeah. When he done that, he's never asked for money. So Moses learned something. You know, he did not ask for money, because before that he used to sound selfish, yeah. It's like, he could have asked for money, you know. Why don't you ask for money? But when he helped the women, the two ladies, he didn't ask for money. He learned something. Okay, let's go back to our subject. You know, I jump anyway. So they went. When they reached a certain community, they asked the people for food, but they refused to host them. Soon they found a wall about to collapse, and he fixed it. He said, you could have demanded a wage for that. So basically, the wall was about to collapse. So how do you know if the wall is about to collapse? He won't be, because he's not, that wall is not on his right position. See, that wall wasn't standing straight, was it? He was leaning a certain way. And then what did he do? He put it back to its original form. That's exactly what the word means. To put things back to their original form. A true form. That's what in the verse said, thars salat. They lost the salat. Salat here is not praying, right? Because people pray all the time. I mean, are the worshippers pray all the time? If anything, I mean, all religions, whatever you want to believe in, I don't call Islam as a religion, you know that. But all these religions, right, whether there's thousands of them, they all have a way to worship, and they all worship that way by praying. Yeah? So the salat God is talking about, it's nothing to do with praying. You have no leg to stand on here. And God proved it when the prophets followed the scriptures. Yeah? He sent them with scriptures. They follow the scriptures. So the prophets are upholding the true form of the deen. They haven't gone astray. But people come after them, after each one of them, and they lose the salat, which is the connection, which is the Quran. They don't uphold the Quran anymore. That's why it goes, aqim as-salat is to put it back, to do it the right way, to put it back to its right shape. right meaning. That is all it means. Doesn't mean to stand up or stand on your head or say something like aqim as-salat or no, it doesn't. That's not how the Quran works, unfortunately. I hope this helped. If I and I hope this I've added something to that. I didn't just do a video for the sake of it, which is that's the things I don't like, you know. There's other. Sorry, I'm busy with work and the gardening and all that. Gardening takes most of my time, to be honest. Um, and work. I don't work as much as I do gardening. I'm always there, and I've got other things to do, you know, family and everything. So, but I will come back. I will come back, you know, if I can, if I'm allowed to come back. Yeah. Peace out.